Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was going back through my old animation stuff from college and came across my final project doodly wop thing that was actually really good and never got finished because it was too big of a project. But I got all the ADR recorded, and my dad played the bad guy, and it was a superhero story, so he got to really ham it up. And I'm listening to it, going, "I miss my dad." It's really sad, but now I'm kind of like, I should finish that. He did such a good job on it, and it was so cool, and I really should finish that.
Yeah. I say go for it.
I think so too. Yeah, so I'll put it on the, inevitable to-do list of something that's somewhere online. When Kayan attacks. Next time on Fox. All right, we were working on Sarah Still Night, I think.
So I found out about a festival. It's already passed for this year, but we should look into it for next year. And that is, it's the Greeley Monster Day.
It does sound like our thing, doesn't it?
Well, and what's interesting about it is I didn't realize it, but there's a company called Divisions. Hang on, what is it? No, not you. Distortions Unlimited, and they make Halloween props for like displays or like haunted houses and that kind of thing. And they're based in Greeley.
Do they do the skeletons of bugs, the bug skeletons? Because those crack me up.
I don't know if they do the bug skeletons, but like they'll do the guy on the electric chair.
Oh, that's cool.
And apparently they started putting together this show to go to and get funding for like a nonprofit. And they've been doing it for several years now. And it's the first time I've heard of this thing. It's like I didn't even know this was a thing that Greeley did.
That is kind of cool.
The to-do list after book 2 is done.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong.
You have plenty of time. I mean, it's every August. So
oh, he's talking about Mr. Indestructible. The animation I was talking about just now.
Oh, okay. So what have you been up to today, guy?
Well, I finished the cover. Pepper last night. I was working on that cover for that book, and I was like, something's still not right, Pepper. What's wrong? And it was like 11:58 and 30 seconds, right? So what does Pepper say? I don't know if I've ever seen anybody digitally do watercolors and still make it muddy. And I was like, well, yeah.
Thank you, Pepper. Thank you.
But then he was like, I think you've got too much paint on her jacket and too little on his. And so I just put a white layer over her and then a blue layer over him. And it actually like looked a whole lot better. So, you know, after that statement, and Pepper was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm like, you didn't. You were painfully right. You know? It's not like you were wrong. You were painfully right. So it was like, but then his modifications to it turned out really nice and really, really good. And then it was like, oh, okay, that's how this works. So anyway, I went ahead and I fixed it up and it was good. And then this morning it was easy to kind of go back through and touch it up and clean it up. And so I'll even show you what it looks like. That's where we ended up. And it doesn't look bad at all.
No.
And it actually looks totally solid. It's a good piece. I'm actually pretty proud of it. And then Ron said, I sent it to Ron, and Ron was like, this is exactly what we were looking for. You know, I knew you could pull it through and all kinds of like really nice stuff. But then Rob, who's the art director, said, yeah, actually, this fits the book perfectly. The artist or the author is going to love this cover. So I was like, sweet. Then mission accomplished.
Yay, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Now we're going to...
And who is Ron?
Ron Fortier.
Oh, okay.
Airship 27. I was working for Airship 27. And Rob is the art director. So Ron is the editor, chief editor. And though Ron is my buddy, Rob's the actual guy who I report to. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing art, I report to the art director. So I've met Rob like twice. So I don't know him very well. So I actually, as much as I absolutely adore Ron, I do, my imposter syndrome's easy to write Ron off as, but he's your friend, you know. So when Rob says something, it means a lot to me because I know that Rob would throw me under the bus if he didn't like it, you know.
Yep.
He'd happily do that. He'd be like, nope, that didn't work. Not a ding. And then this morning I went through and started getting my comics straightened out.
What do you mean?
My old comics from all of history, like all the way back to 1985, I think is the first comic I've got in here that I drew. It's ballpoint pen on a spiral notebook. And it's, of course, a Star Trek knockoff. I mean, I don't know why you'd think it'd be anything other than that, but it was. So, but that's okay. So, but yeah, I found it and I put it in the correct place. And I made a folder with each comic sorted out by year so that they all sort in order, you know, so the year leads and stuff like that. So, okay, I guess it's 87. So yeah, here we go. See, 1987. I bought myself a a calligraphy pen. So it's all drawn in calligraphy pen. But I think it's adorable. I even have a deck plan for it. And it's shuttle bays, and it has missiles, and here's the actual comic, which was done in ballpoint with some markers, and has no actual plot. That's okay. 1985, man. I was 13. You can't really. I guess it was 87. 1987. You can't really complain. All right. Timberwolf's who we're really after, because she's the character in question. So we will add her. She will be my guide on this. If I can get my mouse over here. Hi, mouse. Thank you. I don't like the idea that I'm literally going to keep using this character that's freaking 30 years old.
And he'll continue using it forever just because this is...
I don't know what you're trying to say. And meanwhile, our beloved friend is sanding an astromech dome.
Who?
Brent.
Oh.
We had a couple of people on last night who one of them was a troll, but I think the other one might have actually known you.
That could be.
Anyway, one was trolling, and Pepper and I were like, you know what? Don't troll. And he kind of gave up after that. She needs bigger hair. It was the 80s, man. There we go. I feel like that looks like her.
She's definitely got that 80s anime look.
Right? But, you know, compare and contrast the two characters. I think I'm bringing an updated look to my 80s reporter. And I think I put this comic, I think, was made in 1993. So there's that, you know.
Ow.
Nice. You know what she never had? She never had a beauty mark. She should have had a beauty mark. Yeah, beauty mark's awesome. That's not what she had in the original, but that's okay. the moment, I'm not going to put any specific clothing on her. I'm just going to draw her kind of straight up like this. And that way I can put different clothes on her as I see fit.
That works.
Because she's, so I don't know if you know what I'm doing with this particular thing, but I've been writing little news briefs, which are, things happening around the rest of the galaxy in Bellatrix Rising that I can release as, little one-off sort of things, which all I need to do is draw one picture of her and then a bunch of text right next to her. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe one picture of her and another picture of her saying goodbye or whatever, but for the most part, I don't need to do much of anything except just, a little one drawing, and especially if I pre-draw them. So the idea was that I'll pre-draw these pictures, and then I can just sketch them in when put clothes on her, put a different outfit than yesterday's outfit on her, and then poof, it looks like a completely different picture, yada yada yada. Because she's a reporter, she's going to do exactly the same thing she just did. It's going to be, she's a trained reporter. So it makes sense that she's in the exact same pose, doing the exact same thing,
Makes sense to me.
So I was thinking, all right. They say he's still copying his own artwork today. I was just thinking about him like, I've resurrected all these characters from all my artwork because I found. So I was lucky enough that early on in the age of PCs, I was hanging with a bunch of geeks. So we had a pretty high resolution scanner right off the bat. So I was able to scan my artwork even in the 90s. And I've been holding on to them this entire time. And now they're out on the cloud. And now I can get to them easily. But that's what I was doing today was, of course, I've just been dumping them in a folder called All of My Artwork, which has just become this massive monster of thousands upon thousands of JPEGs. And so today started sorting them into all of their little spots. And I was like, this is the character I was thinking of whenever I was thinking of that character. And this is the character I was thinking of when I thought of that character. And, I did find some of my very, very, very early characters, like way back in the 80s. And I think I want to do a redraw at some point in time. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
You know
that'd
what?
be pretty cool.
You know those.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Do one of those. Do it again.
Yeah. Oh, here's the actual Earth Beta. The ship that in my current story was piloted by Alex. Printer 1. Well, maybe. Possibly.
User 0.
Yeah. I'm like,
Now, I'm wondering with the 3D printers. So I saw someone do something that was very, very interesting with a 3D print he had. And he didn't sand it. He was doing Darth Vader's helmet, and he didn't sand it. It was, even though it had the little lines in it, he casted it and then did a resin pour. And the cast didn't have the lines in it.
interesting. Hey, Brent, I'm getting a 502 bad gateway on printer 1. So if you can re-gateway me, that'd be awesome. Anyway, that's so he printed it, then made a resin cast, or just resin cast it?
He printed it, then made a resin cast of the print.
Fascinating.
And the resin cast didn't have the lines in it.
Gotcha.
So I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that's just internet editing cutting in, or if that's something to do with the silicon mold and the lines. Like it might be the lines are too fine that it loses that detail
right
when you do the resin cast.
Says me, sneezing.
Or it's easier to sand. That could be too.
Yeah, the mold didn't pick up the lines. Maybe that's the entire point, was that the mold wouldn't pick up the lines. All right, let's get us in here again. Okay, as you may or may not have noticed, whatever you're wanting me to do with a printer thing may be delayed by a drawing thing. I have priorities. Drawing is a thing that I must do. I am compelled. You see, I am compelled. As is Kayan. We are both compelled. I'm just saying that's just so that he knows that if he says anything about, okay, now try it, it may take a minute or two while I stop drawing. Okay, I'll get to it in a second.
What is with this music?
Okay, good. It's not just me. The music
It's
has
like,
been just repeating, and it just sits there and
and
repeats.
it's just all drum beats.
It was doing that this morning. It was just boom, 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 and I'm like, okay.
Okay, I gotta change it.
I'm okay
This
with
has
that.
gotta happen. What do you mean, Brent?
I think he means by I don't know what he means. What do you mean, Brent? I thought I knew what he meant, and I don't even know. He may be referring to the printer that isn't set up yet. Black paint shows more imperfections. Oh, okay. So what he's saying is if you're making Darth Vader's helmet, it's glossy black paint. And therefore, if you have the striations like a printer will make, you end up with it being super glossy and super imperfect. You can definitely see that.
Yeah, he didn't print it in black, I don't think. I think he printed
Well, that's what I mean.
in
Is
white.
like what he's saying is that when you print it, it makes striations because the little printer does the line and then lays down another line, and then lays down another line. So when you look at it, it has all these striations in it. So what he was probably doing is molding it, because then when you pop the mold, everything's smooth, which will take to the black paint better because the black paint is glossy and will look.
Well, I think he did a black resin.
Yeah. So maybe even the same thing, so that he can get that black resin out of it.
Yeah.
And now I'm Sarah Stelnight talking about the serious shit. Except I'm Samantha. And I've got to remember Samantha Stelnight.
What are you talking about?
I keep forgetting. So Sarah has been a name that I have been attracted to or attached to for a very long time. And so my first character, this character right, wait, control, where are you? This character right here, I actually was kind of thinking she might be an AI. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, she was one of my first characters in a story called Without a Bloodline. And there we go. So Without a Bloodline was about one of the first androids that gained sentience. And so in the story, there was a fire. Sarah Stillnight, which was her, was covering the story, a fire, and then she drives back and almost runs over the robot, the android, in the street, and ends up crashing her news van. At which time the android then takes her, and they sort of have like something similar to Enemy Mine sort of story, sort of thing, where you find out that the android just wants to be free and doesn't want to be put into slavery, and that got folded into the AI wars. That storyline got folded into the AI wars of Bellatrix Rising, so it's part of it. But I didn't want to waste this character, so I'm pulling the character out and putting her into modern day Bellatrix Rising as a reporter, so that we can have sort of a meta operation on the universe. Because I already have the character, she's already useful, and there's no point in having her be a footnote in a history book. So, I mean, I've got a full fleshed out character, might as well use her. So, anyway, so that's where she came from. But I've got 72 Sarahs, of course, when I compile all of my stories. Since Sarah is my go-to name, I have like 72 Sarahs. And it's because I had a huge crush on Sarah, who is the character in the third generation of Robotech. And so all of my characters are Sarah. So anyway, yes, you were about to say something.
Why not make her the AI or the robot?
I actually thought about that as well. Like, she has moved through history to become Sarah Stillnight instead of, like, we only see her from the waist up. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if from the waist down she has tank treads or something like that? And she's really like legitimately some kind of interesting pseudo android sort of thing, but you don't see her because she's behind a desk all the time. And then that could be like the twist at some point. Not a twist necessarily, but so I don't know about this here, Brent. You're talking about that dome being, black not taking so well to imperfections. Boy, that thing sure is shiny and pretty. I mean, I'm just saying. So to answer your question, Brent, and to answer your question, I don't know. She may actually be. That actually could be really cool if the Enemy Mine story that happened 300 years ago. Yeah, it does look lovely. Look at that. Wow.
And it would be an interesting reversal on Enemy Mine. Because remember, in Enemy Mine, the alien is the one that's destroyed.
Yeah.
And you could have it where in this, it's the human that ultimately died, and this is the android kind of keeping her memory alive.
Right. Could be interesting also if there are kind of weird rumors about how it seems like Samantha Stillnight has just continued to do reporting for 250 years in different ways and different manners, And what they think she is that she's one of the original AIs who never did termination program. Where she didn't program to terminate down. And what it really is that she is the original AI imbued android and grandfathered in.
Hey, what do you think about this water texture I just did?
Oh, I like it. It looks cute. I like that a lot. And that's the thing about having ancient stories being resurrected is there's a lot of information here. And I like where you guys went with this guy, with Sarah. So I'm going to, or Samantha. And that's why I keep doing that, is because I've got 72 Sarahs. So I've got to stop calling her Sarah. She can't be Sarah all night. It's just way too many Sarahs in this universe. And like I said, I have the biggest crush on.
No, that's the AI's tick, is it keeps picking Sarah.
Right.
It's always different last names, but it's the same character. It's always Sarah.
Right. That's not the AI's problem. That's my problem. So I'm kind of... Yeah, you are a post. That's not fair.
What is going on with the music tonight?
Did we change channels completely?
Yes.
That's better.
It's like it just gets stuck on the drum beat and then can't figure out the rest of it.
Yeah. You know, it'd be really cool though. It's a joke, guys. It's Brent. Yeah. Now that I think about it, you know, be really cute. What about this would be whether if she had something similar to. So you have like
Okay, we'll do this a different way.
right? That'd be kind of cool. I mean, creepy, but cool.
What's creepy?
This idea that I have for Sarah or for Samantha Still Night. So effectively, she has the legs like MPV. So she's got 4 wheels, and they unfurl to make legs. So she's effectively an MPV from the waist down. She might want to balance her on this though. See, now that we've said this, I am all on board on this plan.
Okay, that's weird.
What, the thing you're trying to trace?
No. There's a lot of static coming from the channel and it just suddenly stopped.
Music?
Yeah. And now the static's back again.
Wait, I'm not hearing any static.
That is bizarre.
track loaded up, ready to go. Wheel. Get your numbers right. You're gonna do it right.
And the music just died.
Right? And we're back to just a drum beat. I don't know. I think there's some kind of auto creator on the music because they were nailing people for. Because, see, if I copyright the show, I found out what happened. If I copyright the show for any reason, then Facebook automatically nails anybody who uses our music. It's not our fault. We didn't mean to do it that way. It just happened. $5,175. A long time ago. I mean, like today is 6/2/93, and that was she was born in 5/175. That's a long ass time ago.
Yeah, and she's been doing the news.
She looks nice. Does she look nice for her age? I think she looks nice for her age.
Yeah.
She's doing the news now. I don't think she's always done the news. Where were we? Silver Cove. Oh, that's good. I remember the other part of the story that talks about this particular character. She's called the SRAM, SRAM. Samantha short would be Sam. That's close enough to make it work. That fits a whole lot better. You know what? I think that it's kind of cliche for her to be hiding like a vampire, you know. Oh no, I'm not that Samantha Still Night. I'm the other Samantha Still. Instead, why did she just be open about it? I'm that Samantha Still Night. I'm the original AI from the AI War. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and that would actually give you some great conflict later down the road.
yeah, because she won't die. I also think that she assumes this body because that way nobody can hack her and take her down. In the post AI war, crap.
Well, you could also do something like The Watchmen, where you could have a story where she becomes really close, but because of her association with the AI war, it makes her a target, and she winds up inadvertently being killed.
Yeah. It could be there could be a real plot with doing something with Samantha Still Night.
Yeah. Yeah, I was spending a lot of time looking at what other comic creators were doing and kind of breaking down their plots. And like The Watchmen was one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And trying to make it work. You know, trying to figure out what made it tick.
Right. Yeah, she's become quite the character all of a sudden. Some quick, dirty napkin math, and we've got a new character that's actually wild.
And some potential storylines.
Right. Well, she can be like, I mean, you want to talk about hero worship. I think Mayrel would really hero worship her. She knows stories that the Deistati would love to get their hands on, because the Deistati live by stories, and she's lived for like 350 actual human years. It's a lot of stories.
And it's something you could really lean into.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Here's the storyline with Mayrel, is that she's a diplomat, and they're having to, or not diplomat, but she's a person of importance. And so they're having to transfer her to another place, like her life was threatened. And so they're trying to get her to a safe place. So the entire time, Mayrel's trying to poke her about her stories.
Mm-hmm.
And she isn't giving her the stories. Well, during the course of that, she is mortally wounded.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Mayrel that's comforting her. And as she's slowly breaking down, she's starting to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
And just before she gets to the end of the story, that's when it cuts off.
Mm-hmm. That definitely gives her synergy.
And maybe it's that enemy mind story.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. If Mayrel's there at the end of Sarah Still Knight's or Samantha Still Knight's arc, then that's what Samantha Still Knight can tell, is that original story where we see the enemy mind story going the other direction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed. couple of people caught my joke online. There was a picture I had taken of me at a TARDIS, and it was 9 years ago when I was at that convention. And so Facebook put the memory back up there, so I screen capped it and then posted it and said, "Phew, I just got back. I wonder if it worked. Oh, hey, look, it worked." But a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's a great picture." And I'm like, "No, you didn't get the joke." Because it says, of course it says, "Here are your memories from 9 years ago," And I'm like, and it's me trying to get into a TARDIS. And I'm like, come on. That was good. You've got to give me props. That was a good one. I think I like that better. Like that. Yeah, we turned her into an actual kind of cool character.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. She wasn't really what I would call throwaway, but still.
She became more than what she started as.
Yeah, she got much cooler all of a sudden.
One day someone's going to read my stuff, like the totality of all my stuff, and go, "Wow, what mental problems were you dealing with?"
I think that's all of us, bro. I worry about that all the time. It's 2029 or 2050 or 2150. And the great psychiatrist has decided to analyze the works of G.S. Davis. We just wanted to say that this man was a disturbed individual. And before we get into
he needed to be put away as soon as possible.
And it was only a crying shame that society never understood just how totally dangerous that man was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's like, boy, did you have some fears of the ocean growing up? Fear of spiders?
Yeah.
Going through my recurring themes and being like, we need to talk.
As a horror writer, it makes logical sense that you are picking on all of your fears.
Yes. And I am.
That makes some sense. This is one of those things where it occurs to me that there could be at some point a person out there who enjoys watching our streams because it's comfortable. Wouldn't that be weird?
No. I would like to have people come on here to learn to draw,
Yeah. I was just thinking kind of like watching MASH at night or something,
Yeah. No, I could totally see that.
Make sure all is right with the world. Dang it. She's not looking bad. All right. I'm gonna leave my original sketch on here. I don't even remember what she looked like once. Godzilla.
Katsuki!
Also non-denominational.
History shows again and again.
This went a different direction than I expected, so I'm not going to make this blue line anymore.
I hope I didn't screw you up inadvertently.
As in, I was going to make this into a blue line function, but now I'm just going to make it into normal text because it's actually much cooler the way it is. So I'll just take the pencil work that I just did and just make it darker and look like pencil work. And then if I want to trace over these original drawings at some point, I certainly can.
Yeah, I saw something the other day. It was a person commenting that they thought that R. Crumb was overrated.
Okay.
And he is, you know.
Sure.
He's a bit overrated. But I was thinking, it'd be funny if later in our career somebody else was making those kinds like, oh, and Pan and Guy Davis are just way overrated. I don't understand. Yeah.
Not half as cool as they think they are.
It's the come on. It's that getting that scholar in that over critiques comics.
Right.
Are we being visited?
As usual. As it was foretold. Taking my melatonin because I desperately want to sleep some.
Sleep, what's that?
I know, right? I have that issue all the time. I find it truly fascinating, though, just looking at this, which was actual pencil, versus this, which is fake digital pencil. It actually looks pretty similar,
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard to tell if this wasn't drawn on a piece of paper. And this really was.
Well, and that's the thing, is that that's the age of digital that we're in now, is the fidelity of digital is to the point where the only reason why you'd want to draw on paper is if you were actively wanting to.
Right. For the tactile feel.
Or just for the thing of saying, hey, this was drawn traditionally. But even most Japanese comic creators have switched.
Well, there's no reason not to. I mean, I'm not generating stacks of paper. That's one of the long jobs I've got, is to take all of this paper and scan it all in so that it's not taking up space, you know?
Yeah.
It's one of my long jobs, right? Well, your long job's making mess of things. True advance to do what is
Yeah, it was interesting. COVID caused a lot of creators in Japan to switch to digital. Like Horikoshi for My Hero Academia. Because he didn't have access to his assistants, he actually switched to digital because it was the only way he could get work done.
I don't doubt it at all. Are we over it?
I'm sorry, we were losing more and more tracks.
It was deteriorating.
Okay, this page is done, and I think it looks really nice.
I like it. I like the water that you have a fear of. I don't know what my problem is today. I'm just weird.
Yeah, we can all agree on that.
I was going to say, that's something everybody can agree on.
But like one of the things about art now is because everything's digital. Like one person put it right. They were like, you know, the only reason why you don't do color is if you're actively choosing not to do color. Like it's a stylistic choice at this point.
Yeah, and it is. It is absolutely true. I am stylistically going black and white, but I don't need to.
And for some genres, it makes more sense to not to be devoid of color. Like, I actually think horror benefits from not having color.
It's true. Horror is definitely a genre that benefits from no color.
like I was looking at the old Tales from Crypt comics, and the color, the brightness of the color, like they were trying to do a lot of things with to play with the color, but it didn't work. It didn't give you the dread.
Right.
It was almost like the color was making it too comforting, and the horror wasn't being pushed enough. Like I was looking at that and looking that a lot of the stories there didn't have the punch.
I could see that. Mhm.
Wow, it is already 11:42.
Mm-hmm. I'm rushing
Time
to get
just-
this guy done.
Time just flew.
Yeah, time sure is fun when you're having flies.
Yes.
This is actually kind of a fun part. You get to play the game of Barbie doll dress up.
For the character.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun. You just kind of come up with what's the weird. You get to play William Ware Tice as the costume designer for Star Trek, the original series. He came up with all those wonderful but bizarre outfits.
Yes. So, you know the video game Cyberpunk 2077?
Mm-hmm.
And 7 years ago, they dropped that really kick-ass trailer that everybody has been like, they were waiting for that game to drop because of how good the trailer was.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting thing, in the game, they actually have that character from the trailer in the game. She's a hidden Easter egg you can find.
Interesting. Yeah, we're doing it again. We're stuck in bink bink, bink bink. It's like, I don't know what's going on over here, but
I think after this 10 pages done, I'm going to get back into my main story, I'm starting to feel it come back that I need to start working on it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not bad.
I like it.
Yeah. I feel like we have our first actual picture of the reporter Sarah Stelnight, or Samantha Stelnight, as the case may be. And I clearly just cannot seem to ever remember that, and I don't know what my problem is because I'm an alien. Wow, I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien. No. No. No.
No?
You can tell when it's about to do this and go whoop.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, no.
No!
You gotta catch that it's gonna go. We're gonna fill everything. No, please don't. Yeah, we are. No, please. Yeah, no, really.
Oh, so I read something funny earlier today. McDonald's is bringing back Happy Meals
I didn't know they went away.
for adults. They're bringing adult Happy Meals with a toy.
You know, I'm good with that. I'm in.
No.
It's like it comes with a your choice of either a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken nuggets, fries, and a drink. And I'm sitting here going, okay, so you're after my generation, the generation that grew up on Happy Meals.
Yeah, I mean, actually, like I said, I'm on board. It worked. That works.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a reporter. It stands to reason that her hair is ridiculous. Really?
Actually, you know what? Maybe that's one of the controls that she has, that she can change the color of her hair.
Oh, of course she can. Everybody can.
So,
Actually, it's not hard for anybody to change the color of their hair.
well, no, in her case, it's just a setting.
Okay.
So, like every every newscast, it's
Every
a different
episode, she's
color.
got different hair.
Yeah, it's a different hair color and style, you know.
Yep. There we go. It's actually kind of cool. Like, kind of dig it. I got myself my kind of wild-looking, definitely inspired by something that William Ware Tice would put on her outfit.
Yeah.
In fact, quite literally is something that William Ware Tice would make her wear. Let's get a dark brown for her eyes. Yeah, this is where you're like, yeah, guy's definitely a manga artist.
Yeah.
Kind of no question about that one.
So when I was writing this story, I was trying to figure out the main bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends goes, well, why don't you just do a siren? And I went, oh, that'd be a good... yeah, I could see that. Yeah. And then I started going through... I have an unreleased picture that was supposed to go for the Titties and Fangs book that...
Oh, yeah. That they were making for the Red Team Go.
Yeah, I have an old illustration for a mermaid that I did for that. I went, you know what? This has never been released. This would be the perfect character to drop into this horror thing.
Yeah. Right? We're just stuck out here on... We only have 5 minutes left, so... I'm not that pushed at this point, but still, I'm like... Hey, I'm just kind of saying here, you know... Yeah, like it just, I don't know, man. Somewhere along the line, it just decides to die. This is where beats go to die.
Yeah.
Yes, you can save over it. It's fine. Don't freak out, please. All right, we just got a couple more minutes left.
Woo-ha! Another day of art down.
Mm-hmm. Look at us doing our job. I won't be on tomorrow morning. I have a shoot, so I'll be out in Parker, I think.
Oof.
Yeah. I feel like that's where I'm headed tomorrow. That's all right. Money is always good.
Yeah. And hopefully the VA gets off its butt and actually does stuff.
Oh, come on. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't either. The VA helpful?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends. The VA was good to Dad. So we're getting 50% on the dad thing here.
Yeah, the VA was never good to my dad.
Yeah, I know. And it totally, I mean, just hearing from people, it just depends on where you are. Seems to have no real rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the only reason my dad had any good interactions is because he happened to have the good VA. And that was it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it wasn't like my dad was a better soldier or anything like that. Just happened to be the luck of the frickin' draw. But I mean, you know, it that may be one of the reasons why they keep pushing against universal health care. I mean, everybody can have universal socialized health care. Then somebody would realize the VA kind of sucks. You know?
Yeah.
Instead of the other way around where they're like, well, that's proof that, well, no, you know what? Dad still lived 20 years longer than mom. You know? Because of socialized health care. Doesn't matter which way you look at it, I still lived 20 years longer than my mom.
I love you too, George. You're a floof. You're a major floof. Major floof.
All right, we're at 12:03. I'm giving up. I'll see this one. I guess tomorrow night, well, even tomorrow night's questionable. We'll see.
Well, if you're on, you're on. If you're not, you're not. I'll be here. I'm
My
gonna
best
be working
bud
on this, so.
just came back from Wisconsin, so if we're really lucky, he got me some cheese.
Is some cheese?
He's in Wisconsin. Like, that's totally what you get, right? Some nice sharp cheddar. Wisconsin cheddar. Right? Anyway, my friend, I will see you on the flip side.
All right. Talk to you later.
Good night.